Hello everyone, my name is Maria Zulfikar and I am a full stack software developer with over 10 years of experience in software development. Today I would like to give you an introduction to containers and Docker. Here is my sample application which follows basically the microservices architecture. It has basically two microservices, catalog and basket. Before jumping into the code, we will start from the basics. So basically I have containerized my services using Docker container. So before jumping further, before talking about these Docker files, I want to talk with you about what is this containerization and what are its benefits. So basically this containerization is an approach to software development in which an application or service, its dependencies and its configuration are packaged together as a container image, right? So this containerized application can be tested as a unit and deployed as a container image instance to the host operating system. So just these are my images that I have created using Microsoft Visual Studio and in Docker. So just as shipping containers allow goods to be transported by ship, train or truck regardless of the cargo inside, software containers acts act as a standard unit of software deployment that can contain different code and dependencies. So containerizing software this way enable developers and IT professionals to deploy them across environments with little or no modification. Right? So, in short, these containers offer the benefits of isolation, portability, agility, scalability, and control access in the control across the whole application lifecycle overflow. The most important benefit is the environment isolation. Like there is separate environment of dev and the separate environment for host. So what is this Docker? What is this Docker? Basically, Docker is an open source project for automating the deployment of applications, right? So we basically these Docker containers can run everywhere, on premises, in the customer data center, in an external service provider, on the cloud or Azure, and developer can use development environments on Windows, Linux, Mac. On the development computer, the developer runs the Docker host and where the Docker images are deployed, etc. So, if you compare the Docker container with the virtual machine, right? If you compare this Docker with the virtual machine, you say that in virtual machines we may have many apps. Each app may have its own bins and libraries, and each app may have its own guest operating system. So it requires basically more resources. So while in Docker containers include the application and all of its dependencies. They may share the operating system or kernel with other containers running as isolated processes in user space. So basically these containers require fewer resources. For example, they don't need a full operating system. They are easy to deploy and they start fast. This allows you to have higher density, means that it allows you to run more services on the same hardware unit, thereby reducing the cost, which is very much important. So the main goal of this image is that is makes the environment or dependencies the same across different deployments, right? This means that you can debug it on your machine and then deploy it into another machine with the same environment guaranteed. So if you say when using a Docker, you don't hear that developers say it works on my machine and it doesn't work on the production. They simply say that it runs on the Docker. So it was just a simple overview of Docker and the container. In the next video I will be talking about few Docker terminologies. I will be explaining these with this image. There is YAML file, this container, this volume, this port, and multi-stage build, and multi-architecture images, compose file, etc. Then we will start understanding how you can containerize your application using Docker container.